My wife texted, "I want a divorce. Let's just split everything, 50-50 us and move on." I said, "Absolutely." Then I did something she never saw coming. Now she's losing it, blowing up my phone with 26 missed calls and 32 texts, crying that I set her up. Some people think they can blow up your life and walk away with half. They're wrong. And when they push me that far, I stop playing fair. I'm Daniel, 34, a data analyst at a tech company, earning about $102,000 a year. I was married to Rachel, 31, a freelance graphic designer, who made around $36,000 annually when she felt like working. We'd been together 5 years, married for 3, no kids. Thank God. Rachel came from money. Her parents owned a successful catering business. She'd never really struggled financially. After we got married, she cut back her work hours because we didn't need the money. What she meant was I didn't need the money. She was perfectly fine spending mine. Thursday afternoon, I'm in the middle of a client presentation when my phone buzzes. A text from Rachel, "I want a divorce. Let's just split everything, 50-50s and move on." That's it. No explanation, no conversation, just a business transaction, sent by text. I stared at it for 30 seconds, then replied, "Absolutely." She probably expected me to call, cry, beg for couples counseling, ask what I'd done wrong. Instead, I finished my presentation, drove home, and started calculating our finances. Joint checking, $8,400. Joint savings, $12,600. My separate savings, $15,000 from before marriage. Rent, $2,800 a month. Both names on the lease. Her car payment, $380 a month, joint loan. My car was paid off, bought before marriage. Her monthly income when she worked, $3,000. Mine, $8,500. She wanted 50-50s. Perfect. What she didn't realize was that I'd also be on the hook for alimony. 3 years of marriage, a clear income gap, and her reduced work hours during the marriage. She'd be entitled to about $2,000 a month for at least 2 years. Rachel wasn't stupid. She'd already calculated that. The 50-50th split was just the opening move. The real payday was spousal support. When I got home, she was waiting with that smug smile. "I'm glad you're being mature about this." Of course. Though I do have one concern about timing. What? We are coming up on year-end at work. I've got 3 major client audits, budget planning for next fiscal year, and I'm up for promotion to senior analyst. If we file now and get into discovery, depositions, asset valuations, I'll be splitting focus during the most critical quarter of my career. Her smile faltered slightly. "How long are you thinking?" 4 months, max. Let me get through this promotion cycle and bonus period. If I make senior analyst, the salary bump helps both of us. Better settlement numbers for you, and I can afford better legal representation so we can keep this amicable. She perked up at that. More money in the pot meant more for her. Plus, I added, filing right before year-end creates tax complications. Joint returns, asset basis calculations. It gets messy if we're in the middle of proceedings. My accountant says waiting until after tax season saves both of us hassle and money. I guess that makes sense. We can use the time to separate finances cleanly, avoid disputes about who spent what during proceedings, and keep everything transparent. She nodded. Okay, 4 months, perfect. I had 4 months to execute my plan. That weekend, I called an old work contact. Jake Morrison had been a marketing manager at my previous company, until he was laid off 6 months ago. I'd heard through LinkedIn that he'd moved to Portland to care for his sick mother, but she'd recently passed and he was looking to move back. "Jake, it's Daniel. I heard about your mom. I'm sorry." "Thanks, man. It's been rough." "Are you still thinking about moving back here?" "Yeah, actually. I've been applying for jobs remotely, but haven't found anything yet. I might have something for you. Not a job exactly, but a way to make some quick money while you're job hunting." I explained the situation carefully. Jake would need to actually move back, actually apply for marketing jobs, and actually be the person he claimed to be. This wasn't about creating a fake identity. It was about using his real situation. "You want me to seduce your wife so you can avoid paying alimony? I want you to be available on dating apps. If she chooses to pursue something, That's her decision. Dude, that's insane. She's trying to take me for $60,000 after ending our marriage via text message. You in or not? Jake was broke, living off his mother's life insurance money. What's in it for me? $5,000 cash when it's done. Plus, I'll connect you with the marketing director at my company. They're hiring, and I've got pull there. You're serious about the job connection. Dead serious. You're qualified. They need someone, and I have credibility with them. Jake thought about it. And I just have to be myself. Exactly. You're Jake Morrison, a marketing professional who recently moved back from Portland after your mother passed away. You're genuinely looking for work and genuinely single. Everything you tell her will be true. What if she doesn't match with me? Then you get a fresh start in a new city, and I'll still help with the job connection. But I know her type. You'll match. 2 weeks later, Jake moved back. I helped him find a short-term furnished apartment and connected him with a recruiter at my company. He had 3 job interviews lined up within a week. All legitimate opportunities. Jake set up profiles on 3 dating apps, Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. We kept everything completely honest. Recent graduate of Portland State. Marketing manager with 5 years of experience. Recently moved back after losing his mother, looking for something genuine while rebuilding his life. His photos were authentic. A professional headshot from his LinkedIn, casual shots from hiking trips. One with his late mother at her birthday party last year. The bio was simple. Starting fresh after a difficult year. Loves exploring new cities and meeting genuine people who value authenticity. Everything about Jake's profile was real, because Jake was real. That was the key. Then came the waiting game. I knew Rachel's patterns. She'd be curious about dating apps, but wouldn't jump in immediately. She'd probably download them within 2 weeks, just to see what was out there. I was right. 15 days after our agreement to delay the divorce, Jake got a match on Bumble. Rachel had used her professional headshot and described herself as a creative professional ready for new adventures. The conversation started naturally. Sorry about your mom. That must have been really hard. Thanks, it was, but I'm trying to focus on positive changes. Your design work looks amazing, by the way. Thank you. I love what I do. How are you finding the city so far? I didn't coach Jake at all. He was genuinely a good guy going through a real transition, and his authentic personality came through in the messages. That's what made it work. After a week of chatting, Jake suggested coffee. Rachel agreed immediately. They met at a Starbucks downtown. I wasn't there. No need to. Follow them. Jake was just being himself. Rachel was being herself. Whatever happened would happen naturally. I'm recently single, she told him over coffee. Just ended a long-term relationship that wasn't working anymore. Recently single, not separated. Not going through a divorce. Single. That's hard, Jake said. How long were you together? About 5 years. But I've been mentally checked out for months. I'm ready to move forward. Mentally checked out was news to me. The coffee date went well. They made plans for dinner that Friday. Over the next 3 weeks, Jake and Rachel went on 6 dates. Dinners, a museum visit, drinks, a hiking trip. Jake sent me updates, not because I asked, but because he felt uneasy about the situation and wanted to keep me informed. More importantly, I was learning about Rachel's lies. She told Jake she'd been single for 8 months. She said her ex had been emotionally unavailable and obsessed with his career. She claimed she was finally free to be herself again. By the 6th date, Jake texted me, "She's pushing for us to take things physical. What do I do?" "Whatever feels right to you. You're both single adults." But she's not actually single. She told me she was. As far as you know, she's a single woman you met on a dating app. This feels wrong, man. Then don't do anything you're not comfortable with. Just be yourself. Jake struggled with it for a week. He genuinely liked Rachel. She was funny, attractive, and seemed interested in him as a person. But he knew the truth about her situation. Finally, he made his decision. "I booked us a room at the Marriott downtown for Saturday night," he texted her. "I'd love that," she replied immediately. Saturday evening, I positioned myself discreetly in the hotel lobby with a camera. Not to spy, but to document. Jake arrived first, checked in, and texted me the row number. Rachel showed up 20 minutes later, looking excited and nervous. I got clear photos of them entering the elevator together, time-stamped and geotagged. Jake's instructions to himself were simple: be genuine about his feelings, but document what happened. If things became physical, take a time-stamped photo proving they were together intimately. 2 hours later, Jake texted me, "Got what you need. This is it for me. I can't keep doing this." The photo he sent was tasteful but unmistakable. Both of them in bed together. Rachel's face clearly visible. The timestamp showed it was taken that evening. She was wearing lingerie I'd never seen before. Jake left early the next morning, telling Rachel he had a family obligation. He felt terrible about the deception, but the deed was done. Rachel came home Sunday evening acting completely normal. No guilt, no confession, no change in behavior. She was already living a double life. Monday morning I filed for divorce. "What happened to waiting until spring?" she asked when she got the papers. "I spoke to my lawyer. He said the timing doesn't matter as much as I thought, and dragging it out just creates more opportunities for complications." The divorce papers cited irreconcilable differences and adultery. Rachel's face went white when she read that part. Adultery? That's ridiculous. Is it? I haven't cheated on you, have I? Her silence said everything. I don't know what you think you know. I know about Jake Morrison. She went completely still. Who? Jake Morrison. Marketing manager. Recently moved back from Portland after his mother died. Sound familiar? I don't know what you're talking about. I pulled out my phone and showed her the hotel photo. Marriott, downtown, room 847. Last Saturday night. She stared at the image, then at me. How did you get this? Jake sent it to me. He what? Turns out Jake is an old colleague of mine. When I filed for divorce and cited adultery, I had to identify the third party. So I contacted Jake to let him know he might be called as a witness. This was the crucial lie. Jake wasn't just some random guy. He was someone I knew professionally who could testify credibly. You set this up, she said quietly. I didn't set up anything. Jake moved back here for legitimate reasons. Got on dating apps because he's genuinely single, and met you because you told him you were single, too. You planned this whole thing. I planned nothing. Jake is exactly who he said he was. A marketing professional who recently moved back after losing his mother. Everything he told you was true. But you knew him. I know a lot of people in this city. That doesn't mean I control who they match with on dating apps. This is entrapment. Entrapment would be if I forced you to lie about being single, forced you to go on dates, forced you into a hotel room. I did none of those things. You made every single choice. The legal proceedings moved quickly after that. Rachel's lawyer tried to argue setup and entrapment, but the evidence was overwhelming. Dating app screenshots showing her claiming to be single. Hotel receipts, photos. Jake's testimony that she had misrepresented her marital status. Jake testified truthfully. He was a real person with a real background, recently moved back to the city, genuinely single and looking to date. He met Rachel on Bumble. She told him she was single. They dated for 3 weeks, and she initiated physical intimacy. The judge wasn't sympathetic. The defendant initiated contact on dating applications while married, misrepresented her marital status to a third party, and engaged in intimate conduct outside the marriage. This constitutes adultery under state law. Final settlement. She got $5,000 from the joint accounts after legal fees. No spousal support due to the adultery finding. I kept the apartment and most of the assets. She took her car and its payments. Rachel had to move in with her sister. Without spousal support, her freelance income barely covered the basics. 2 weeks after the divorce was finalized, she texted, "I know you planned this whole thing." I replied, "I planned nothing. I documented everything. You destroyed my life. You destroyed your own life when you chose to commit adultery instead of having an honest conversation about our marriage. Jake was your friend. Jake was my colleague. There's a difference." And he was honest about everything. His background, his situation, his intentions. You're the one who lied. Then I blocked her number. 6 months later, I heard through mutual friends she'd moved back in with her parents in Ohio. Jake ended up getting a marketing job at my company and was doing well. He felt bad about how things unfolded, but he understood that Rachel made her own choices. 1 year later, I'm doing great. I got the promotion to senior analyst, bought a house, and I'm dating someone who actually works full-time and contributes equally to the relationship. Did I feel guilty about orchestrating the situation? Not for a second. She tried to game the system for $60,000. I just made sure the system worked the way it was supposed to. The truth is, Rachel made every choice that led to her downfall. She chose to ask for a divorce via text. She chose to delay filing for financial advantage. She chose to download dating apps while still married. She chose to lie about being single. She chose to pursue a physical relationship with another man. I just made sure those choices had consequences. She wanted to split everything 50-50s and move on. Instead, she got exactly what she earned: nothing. Sometimes when people try to manipulate you, the best response is to give them enough rope to hang themselves. Rachel got all the rope she needed. The rest was up to her.